Hello, OboeFiles! Today we're talking about Etude number 19 out of the Ferling book. This is the melodic Etude in G minor. So I'm going to play it for you in just a second, and then we're going to talk about some of the key takeaways of the Etude to make sure that you are fully equipped to practice it and play it at a really high level. Alright, so before we get into that, make sure that you like the video below and subscribe so that you don't miss any more videos from the OboeFiles channel. Alright, let's give it a go. Hello again. So it looks like we're having some storms come in, so I'm going to try to do the rest of the video in one take, and maybe we'll cut it up later. I'm not sure. We got a whole nother etude to get through. We'll see what happens. Okay, so Etude 19. I think for all of these etudes, it's important to think of a mood that you're trying to evoke, and it can change throughout the etude, but it's good to have a general, kind of feeling you're going for at the beginning, at least, to kind of evoke the right sense of playing with your vibrato and phrasing. So, for me, at the beginning, I like to think of it as maybe plaintive or melancholy. Maybe a little nostalgic would be good words to think of. And I think that changes in measure 11 when we get into a little bit of more major section to like a more tender feeling. Okay, so that might change how you do the trills. I like to do the trills starting a little slower and then speeding up into the notch log into the resolution of the trill. But you could also argue that it's more effective to do the trill starting quickly, stopping on the downbeat halfway through the trill, and then doing a slow notch log into the resolution. Now, however you want to execute that is up to you. Just keep in mind that you want it to really sell, so make sure you really commit to what you decide. Now, with all of the ornaments, it is important to practice the rhythm without the ornament, so naked rhythm first. Okay, so for the first phrase, for example, in measures 3 and measures 4, leave out the trills and the notch logs and just play the rhythm straight to make sure that it is really in time. And then add the ornaments back in one by one. If you rush this process, it's going to be really hard to keep your grounding and stay nice and vertical with the meter. And you're going to start putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable, and you don't want that. So, I did not listen to this when I was younger, but I'm telling it to you now to save you a lot of time. Practice it naked, and then put in the ornaments one by one. Okay, another issue that might be difficult in this etude is the breathing. And I think in the playthrough I did a little bit earlier, I had a little bit of issue with the air control, but I only got one go at it, so it is what it is. But you could do better. The breathing in the last phrase, starting maybe measure 25 or so, is really hard to keep track of. There's some spots where it might benefit you to breathe out and then breathe back in. When I did it just now, I think that in bar 25 I breathe out, and in bar 27, before the high B flat, I breathe back in and take a little bit bigger breath that way. Now in bar 32, there's a little bit of like sequential neighbor tone going on, and you want to make sure that you have the breath control to make it through that whole sequence in one go. I'm not sure I did, but use my misfortunes as a lesson, and don't necessarily just copy what I do. Okay, otherwise, I think the pitch is pretty straightforward. On Luray oboes, I've always had troubles with the G, but just kind of pay attention to that with the tuner. And this etude's in G minor, so that's a perfect opportunity to practice that. Otherwise, when in doubt, always play beautifully, and also make sure you always hit that like button below and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys have fun playing this etude. Good luck.